Did you know if you drop a like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds, nothing will happen but it will put a giant smile on my face? Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2 is literally 32% complete already, with us only right now being in version 20.10 being the first update of this season out of 4 downtime updates that will be occurring until, well, Chapter 3 Season 3 starts. Despite it being blatantly obvious that the Imagined Order and 7 are at war and perhaps that's why Klombos are hibernating or got vaulted until now when the community cried out to Epic Games to unvault them, and we know they're going to be returning sooner than we thought due to this challenge and the location of them currently under the snow. Well, what if I told you in today's video we're going to be going over how Epic Games could be listening to the community about Klombos in more than just one way, not just the normal ones returning, but adding Baby Klombos, as you can see by the title and the thumbnail, and that this could be done in multiple ways, which we're going to be going over in today's video, whether wildlife or cosmetics. But even on top of that too, with the 20.20 update being put onto the staging servers, meaning it's releasing next week according to data miners, with even a small Easter hotfix happening today with changes made that you may blatantly see around the island itself to do with the map changes or things added. We're literally going to be covering it all in today's video, so trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Stick around, watch the full thing. It'll only take up like literally 10 minutes or 600 seconds of your time. And speaking of stuff that only takes a couple of seconds that's also 100% free to do, please consider entering code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop right now. Entering this code not only puts a giant smile on my face but also cheers up my pug Gus, as he's been kind of sad about the fact he knows 70% of you watching right now are not subscribed. So if you hit the big red button right now, you will help us on our final push to 2.5 million subs, as we've just reached 2.4 million right now, so get clicking. After all, this only benefits you too, considering I give different subscribers every single day who are simply, yes, subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment their Epic Games ID down below and potentially what they'd like to receive. So yeah, that could be you gifted in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the very next video on the channel. But with that said, now enough messing around, we need to go over when Baby Klombos can be expected to be appearing in Fortnite and everything to do with 20.20, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm not, I'm sitting on my
Don't
back.
go anywhere.
Okay, so one of the first or most important things to mention, despite 20.20 being on the staging servers, which is actually the mid-season update, last night's hotfix actually revealed the outcome of the mini live event at the Daily Bugle, which once was anyways, as we helped the 7 take it over from the Imagined Order, as the 7 have not only now won, but as you can see from a before and after kind of cinematic right here, the blimp is no longer there. It's literally crashed now into the outskirt kind of east ocean of the island, and you can see it in game, you can go onto it and stuff like that. It's obviously not in the sky anymore, and despite the Daily Bugle still standing, even though many people speculated through loading screens and Fortnite artwork that it would be destroyed by the blimp actually crashing, as data miners also predicted it would crash onto the island, rather so on the outskirts of it in the water, such as the Daily Bugle being one of these locations Hypex has mentioned. Of course, don't forget when referring back to this tweet that was published late March that this gives it even more validity as to other blimps crashing over other named locations, such as not only Rocky Reels but Tilted Towers too. And with these being more central named locations to our island, maybe perhaps Tilted Towers is crashed into by a blimp, or the water, which is actually Loot Lake as a location on the outskirts of it. However, in terms of Rocky Reels, this will definitely be an interesting one, as it's hard to say where it would go. Furthermore, if we go to the Daily Bugle right now, of course we can not only see the 7 tanks, of which one has now been enabled at this location from the 7 taking it over from the Imagined Order in this mini live event. On top of the 7 tanks being added here as new content, we have even more, as there's 2 new funding stations, one for the armoured battle bus and one for the light turrets, of which right now at the time of me recording this video have literally already been halfway funded, so when you're watching maybe, they may already be live in-game fully funded. And before we dive more into how this is going to be affecting the live event now, what happens next as we approach this mid-season update being 20.20 in itself on the staging servers set to release next week, which will be happening, for those that don't know, on a Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, or whatever day Prowler is actually revealed to unlock for the first time in-game, when this timer ends whatever day it lands on, which will be on screen right now. Despite many people perhaps thinking it's another week to wait for more content, well, it actually isn't, as in the hotfix last night, with not only just these funding stations added and everything to do with the 7 tanks or the Daily Bugle blimp crashing overall. Speaking of the Daily Bugle, before we move on, there's an Easter egg here puzzling many people, as this season's theme is a war between 2 factions, like Chapter 2 Season 2, but not the same factions. For those that don't know, in Chapter 2 Season 2, it was all about Ghost versus Shadow. However, now fast forward in a full chapter, it's the 7 or the Resistance, meaning us and the 7, versus the Imagined Order. With this in mind, and with many people already knowing this begs the question question that many people are starting to ask now from a very cryptic tease that Epic Games have implemented at the Daily Bugle, being the logo of the Ghost faction, which has nothing to do with the storyline that we know of currently at the Daily Bugle on this flag. Feel free to speculate about what this could mean in the comment section down below. Does this mean Ghost are teaming up with the Seven, and that then means that Shadow are teaming up with the Imagined Order? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Stuff that we won't have to wait and see about though now is new stuff in this hotfix, or content should I say, that you perhaps didn't know about before the 20.20 update in itself, not only being jetpacks that we can find on blimps, obviously not the one crashed in the water right now, the one still in the sky, or that we can finally buy off NPCs, of which are all listed on screen right now thanks to FireMonkey. So feel free to pause this video if you're obviously trying to complete your collection of NPCs visited or just interacted with overall, as if you haven't already tested out the jetpacks, now's a good reason to visit one of these guys and tick them off your list or reveal them. And in celebration of, well, what we're heading toward in real life being Easter, or the Easter holidays for many people who aren't already on it, Epic Games have added not only the egg launcher, replacing, well, the grenade launcher, or kind of a makeshift of it in celebration of this festivity, and again to do with eggs, these consumables around the map, which are literally, yeah, the grenade launcher eggs but just planted, which obviously make us hop around like hop rocks, or should I say bunny rabbits, again tying to Easter. Also, speaking of Epic Games following what literally happened in the same season of the prior chapter, for instance Chapter 2 Season 2's Ghost and Shadow War now being replaced with the Seven versus the Imagined Order. Of course, for those wondering as to if we'll see a live event this season, considering we didn't see one last season for Chapter 3 Season 1, again with Epic Games following, well, the prior chapter or what happened in those seasons, Chapter 2 Season 1, for those that can't remember when we got revealed to our first new island after, well, the first island for the first time, if that makes sense, didn't have a live event. However, Chapter 2 Season 2 did, and kicked off Chapter 2's live event starting out with the device. So with that said, the very same thing could be happening this season, and it's kind of confirmed now as the outcome of this war anyways, or should I say the stage is being leaked, pushing back the Imagined Order to their base of operation primarily, which once was Covert Cavern but is now Command Cavern, which will be the only place that the Imagined Order in Stage 6 will be standing, as you can see on screen. Believe it or not, in this update, as Egyptian leaker states on screen, the plugin of the live event special event gameplay plugin was removed completely from the files. It's one of two things: the plugin won't be used anytime soon, so they decided to remove it, or maybe they removed it to update it before a new live event, meaning perhaps it's bigger and better than any other one we've previously seen. Again, despite showing the stages of the map, the Seven, or us the Resistance and the Seven overall, pushing back the Imagined Order to Command Cavern eventually, as you can see their red circle shortens by each stage, with us literally being a part of this as more mini live events are set to occur, like we had claiming the Daily Bugle back anyways from the Imagined Order in these locations, as Hypex stated, not only the Daily Bugle but Coney Crossroads, most likely in 20.20, and then Condo Canyon in 20.30 alongside Rocky Reels, with this narrative being pushed or built out or even developed off of or progressing until later this season toward the end. This perfectly sets up a scenario for a live event to be occurring, and of course that then perhaps even being a battle between, well, the Imagined Order and the Seven. Fingers crossed Klombos aren't involved though, considering we still don't know what's in these IO vaults, despite us knowing they're in hibernation, some of them anyways, underneath the snow, thanks to this secret challenge, of which we can get XP for right now from visiting all three locations, which are actually Klombos, again underneath the snow, these secret snow mounds. And just before we move on to the subject of Baby Klombos, or why they should be coming to the game with the re-implementation of Klombos as wildlife on our island after the war is ended, or nearing an end anyways. For those that don't know, Epic Games have been forming many partnerships, or even extending them as of recently, not only forming a new one with LEGO. As you can see on screen right now, Hypex tweeted out the following: LEGO x Epic Games. LEGO and Epic Games are entering a long-term partnership to shape the future of the metaverse, to make it safe and fun for children and families, to build an immersive, creatively inspiring and engaging digital experience for kids of all ages to enjoy together. Notice how they mention the metaverse and digital entertainment in that previous tweet. Well, Epic Games aren't stopping in terms of having people invest, as on April 11th, Sony and Kirkby invested $1 billion each, as a total of $2 billion, in Epic Games to build the future of digital entertainment and advance the company's vision to build the metaverse and support the continued growth. That amount of money is absolutely crazy, and you don't hear it being thrown about, the number billions, very often in terms of, well, investing in gaming particular companies if they're not already huge like Sony or Xbox or Microsoft. Hopefully still Epic Games though have a say in their own creative path or freedom as to developing Fortnite's future, which particularly is kind of the main interest of Epic Games to perform successfully. And speaking of that future itself, as we move on to our main topic, Baby Klombos, despite there being no information in the files as to these upcoming, of course the community were crying out with the disappearance of Klombos for them to return, and now that wish has been granted by Epic Games. As if it wasn't already obvious, they're going to be returning after all the war has died down down on the island between the Imagined Order and the Seven. But of course, with this happening, with the hype around Klombos being, well, predominantly the main thing to end off last season, with myself, yes, I'm taking responsibility for starting the Baby Klombo trend by having my thumbnail designer create this Baby Klombo based concept trailer. As you can see, it's literally nearly got 6 million views, if not has at the time of you watching this video if you click on my channel. And based off that fact alone, it's safe to say there's no way someone from Epic Games hasn't seen this or put it forward as an idea to be added, whether it's as wildlife, as we can't even eliminate Klombos anyways, so why would anyone want to eliminate the baby ones, or even added in cosmetic form, maybe perhaps even as a pet back bling, as you can see from the concept on screen right now, even in as late as the Chapter 3 Season 3 Battle Pass. This is something that the community will definitely want to see until it's literally added. Not to mention too, it makes sense now more than ever, as you can see by the thumbnail, that yeah, we're literally either revealed to one in this universe, or they're just randomly added in an update, or Doctor Strange can perhaps open a portal to another universe out of the multiverse of which is Fortnite, then revealing that wildlife and bringing it into this universe of Fortnite itself. To find out more information on that, make sure you're subscribing to the channel with all notifications turned on. As soon as it's revealed, I'll be having a video posted on any of it, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed or want to keep referring back to anything mentioned in this video. But speaking of other videos or your next destination now, make sure to click or interact with anything on screen, but most importantly, hopefully I can catch you, yes, you the individual still watching, I can see you, but hopefully in that very next video I do post on the channel.